Welcome back to the Deep Dive podcast. If you spent your morning staring at a DNA test result trying to figure out why your 2% unspecified shrubbery or why your fifth cousin twice removed is asking for a kidney on LinkedIn, congratulations, you are the reason I have a job. I'm your host, Maple, and today we're diving into a topic that is basically the ultimate it's not you, it's everyone. We're talking about the terrifying reality of human genealogy and the fact that you're basically breathing your great-great-great-great-great-great-granduncle's recycled air. Why? Because while normal people are planning for Valentine's Day, we're out here trying to figure out why our family tree looks more like a tangled ball of yarn that a cat threw up. Let's get into the pedigree collapse of it all.
So let's talk about the tree of life. We've all seen the charts, right? You're at the bottom, then you've got 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents. It's just math. Every generation you go back, the number of your ancestors doubles. It's clean, it's geometric, it's total fiction.
Okay, let's actually do the math just for fun. If you go back about 30 generations, which lands you somewhere around the year 1200, give or take a plague, you just keep doubling that number. 2, 4, 8, 16, all the way back. So what number do you land on? What does that simple, clean math say you need?
Yeah, that's over 1 billion, with a B. For you to be alive today, your tidy little family tree says you required more than 1 billion unique, individual ancestors, all living at roughly the same time. And this, my friends, is where our pretty little diagram runs headfirst into a brick wall.
Because, and here's the spoiler, there weren't a billion people on Earth back in 1200. Not even close. The entire world population was only about 400 million. I mean, that's barely enough people to fill a decent-sized suburb in 2026. So how on earth could you have a billion ancestors when there weren't even a billion people on the entire planet? Well, the math isn't wrong. Our idea of a tree is.
The only way to solve this riddle is to realize your family tree doesn't just branch out forever. At some point, it starts to fold back in on itself. It's not a tree at all. It's more like a web. A huge, tangled, interconnected web.
This whole phenomenon is what nerds call pedigree collapse, and it's not some strange, rare thing. It's the absolute rule for all of us. See, people didn't travel much. They married people from their own village or the next one over. And after a few generations, everybody's already a cousin of some sort. It means your ancestors were, let's say, double-dipping. That same great-great-great-grandma might appear on your mom's side and on your dad's side. Your family tree isn't a tree, it's a web. A very, very cozy web.
So you've really got to ditch this idea of a tree with separate branches. It's just not how it works. We have to start picturing this web, where all the lines are shared, overlapping, and constantly connecting back to each other. The family tree is a useful fiction, maybe, but the great human family web, that's a cold, hard mathematical fact. And it gets even wilder. A mathematician named Joseph Cheng proved that if you go back just a few thousand years, something amazing happens. He found that every single person alive back then who has any living descendants today is an ancestor of every single person alive on Earth today. There's no in between. Let that sink in. We all share the same pool of ancestors. That guy you cut off in traffic this morning? Probably your 40th cousin. That celebrity you have a crush on? Family. It's not a genealogy, it's a giant, mandatory Thanksgiving dinner from which there is no escape. And hold that thought. Time for a quick kinship break. Look, since we're all related anyway, it's basically a family obligation for you to help me out here. If you're enjoying this deep dive, do me a solid. Smash that subscribe button, leave a 5-star review. Write something like, "My Stardust finds this content acceptable." It confuses the algorithms and ensures our shared ancestors can look down and say, at least they're listening to a decent podcast. Do it now.
But wait. It gets weirder. Because if being related to every weirdo on the subway wasn't enough, physics has to chime in. Our shared story goes so much deeper than just human genealogy. Because if you keep asking where do I come from, the answer eventually stops being about people and starts being about the cosmos itself.
I mean, just look at the recipe for a human being. We're mostly oxygen, carbon, and hydrogen. But here's the mind-blowing part. Except for the hydrogen, which is as old as the universe itself, every single other ingredient that makes you, was cooked up inside a star.
Stars are literally the universe's kitchens. For billions of years, they've been taking the simplest atoms, hydrogen, and smashing them together under immense pressure to create heavier things. They fuse hydrogen into helium, then helium into the carbon and oxygen that are essential for our bodies. And when a truly massive star dies, it goes out with a bang, a supernova, forging and scattering all the heavier elements, like iron and gold, all across the galaxy.
This isn't just some poetic line.
It's literal, scientific fact. The calcium in your bones, the carbon in your DNA, the iron in your blood, every single one of those atoms was born in a stellar furnace billions of years ago. We are literally made of star stuff, which sounds beautiful and poetic, right? Until you realize what that really means for those atoms.
So let's bring these two giant ideas together, our tangled human web and our shared cosmic origin. What does all of this mean for who we are, and for that DNA test you took that still says you're 2% unspecified shrubbery?
That DNA test is only showing you a tiny, tiny fraction of the whole story. You see, you have your genealogical ancestors. That's everyone in that massive collapsed web, billions of them. But you only inherit DNA from a very small number of them, your genetic ancestors. Most of the people you actually descend from are complete ghosts in your DNA.
So this idea of a pure bloodline, it's completely and utterly demolished by the math. It's an impossibility. If you go back far enough, we all share the exact same pool of ancestors. Human history isn't about purity. It's about constant, relentless mixing. It's how we've survived. The very notion of purity isn't just a myth, it's a biological dead end.
And on an even deeper level, you aren't just connected to the cosmos. You are basically a sentient pile of cosmic leftovers. The atoms that make you, have been recycled for eons. That carbon atom in your bicep, it was probably in a T-Rex's tail, a medieval turnip, and a puddle of mud before it decided to try being you for 80 years or so. You're not an individual. You're a temporary rental agreement for ancient stardust.
So there you have it. You're related to everyone, you're made of recycled suns, and your family tree is actually a Venn diagram with 0 external circles. It's a messy, beautiful, slightly incestuous universe we live in. This episode was produced by the legendary FireflyHaku. I'm convinced Haku is the only person whose genealogy actually is a tree, and probably a high-tech bioluminescent one from the future. Haku manages the audio levels with the precision of a nuclear fusion reaction, while I just provide the chaotic, recycled stardust energy. They are the stable atoms to my weird pedigree collapse rants. Thanks for hanging out in my ear space today. Go out there, be nice to your cousins, which is everyone, and try not to let your star stuff get too disorganized before next week. Later.